Hi there, my dear. It's LaShanda Henry here, aka Sister Sense, with a quick Q&A series for my fellow entrepreneurs looking for questions to their online business building answers. So for this session, I'm going to talk to you about being disappointed around your sales and wanting some support and guidance and inspiration. It definitely is not a good thing when you try to generate a certain amount of sales and you don't, and you feel defeated and you don't want to do anything. So let's talk about what that looks like. So I'm actually going to take this particular question from one of the ladies in my circle, and she said, LaShanda, help. This is what I did. This is what I launched. It didn't quite go off the way I wanted to, and I didn't get as much revenue as I was looking to, and I just don't want to do it anymore. Help. Right? So I shared a couple of recommendations that definitely help to boost her motivation and get her back on track, and I'm going to share them with you now. First thing being, I need you to be realistic about your goals. Don't look at them. Don't look at their bank. Don't look at their business. Focus within, okay? And so some of that feeling of defeat and anxiety is being, in all honesty, being in a space where you're comparing your results to somebody else's and going, they made all this money and I didn't get that. Well, do you have their tribe? Do you have their list? Do you have the number of years that they've been putting into building their community and their customer base? If you don't have those things, I need you to start here. Now, I said to her, okay, well, what were your revenue goals? Okay. So she gave me a particular number. I deal in a space where I have 3 types of revenue goals: the base, the middle, and the reach. So she was just looking at that reach and really being in a space where she was putting a lot of pressure on herself to reach a high goal that realistically, based on her size of her following and her customer base, she couldn't get there yet. So think about for yourself a base goal at the very minimum, a middle goal, and a reach goal, which is you're like, oh my gosh, the sky has opened result that you really desire. So based on that conversation, she said, you know what, this is how many sales I have made. I said, listen, you need to stop and you need to appreciate and congratulate because you've made a success. Some people launch and make no money, honey. So you making actual sales, that's a huge accomplishment. So stop and really congratulate what you've done so far. Again, identify that base and that reach and that, middle goal for yourself so you can be a little bit more practical about what you can realistically do right now. Start there. And so she said, okay, here's LaShanda, here's my new reach. I dropped it. I'm taking off some of this pressure. This feels a lot better for me. Thank you so much. And it's interesting because in the conversation of us talking about how many sales that she was making, she was actually in that time frame making sales. She was like, literally, LaShanda, me responding to you, I've made 2 more sales. In the conversation. So I do see that it is working. I have to kind of take some of that pressure off of me. Base, middle, reach goal. That's a great way for you to kind of knock that out. Another thing that I want you to consider is outside of looking at the base, middle, reach and really accomplishing, or rather congratulating yourself on making the accomplishment of making your first sales, right? The next thing I want you to think about is your customers. So a lot of time when you've got that shiny object syndrome, especially as a newbie entrepreneur, you're on to the next one. Yeah. I know I made those sales and I got those customers, but I need more customers, right? You want to make real money, you got to get return customers. So think about those people who bought from you. How can you get them to come back? How can you get them to give you a testimonial? How can you get them to buy something new? How can you get them to bring their friends too? It's easier to sell to people who have bought, like your stuff, want to buy some more and refer their friends. So not just simply being in a space where you're looking at the new traffic, but digging into the customers that you actually have, the sales that you actually made. Super, super important. Okay. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about today is leveraging your people and your platform. So I said to her, for this particular client, she has an amazing following on Pinterest. I mean, she's got multiple thousands of people following her there. And I'm like, okay, well, did you create a series around your new offer there? And she's like, oh, I didn't even think of that, right? So think about what you've got right now. Maybe you have a particular audience online or offline that is something that you can tap into, right? Leverage your platforms that are currently working for you. And then number 2, leverage your people. Maybe there are people people who they are selling to people that you can sell to as well. And if you make a connection, you start a collaboration, you can tap into that audience. So those are a couple of things that I want you to consider when it comes to being in a space where maybe you're not as happy as you wanted to be with your initial launch sales or business sales. You got to keep working at it. There's so much more than you can do, but reflect on this for now. And of course, if you want us to talk about some things you can work on with respect to your money marketing, sales, and revenue, you can always schedule a clarity call with me over at callme.sistasense.com or send an email to sistasense@gmail.com. So this is one of the many episodes you'll find as part of my Boss Up Q&A series. Of course, make sure if you've got any questions for me, drop them into the comment box because, of course, comments, questions, requests, they rock. So send those questions and I'll keep sharing my answers. Till next time, take care. Bye.